Ooh, might make your head blow off.
Hey yo, it's a talk show host, Kana Lassiter. Join me for an episode of Relations, the most lit hour of adult conversation.
Hold up, you know you can't forget about me. It's 51 Spade, alpha male God, one half of Relations. You wanna hear the truth? Can you handle the truth? It's where it's at, baby. It's where it's at, baby.
What's good? Welcome to an all-new episode of Relations. My name is Kana Lassiter.
Say it with me now. Alpha male God, 51 Spade, aka the ninja you love to hate. I'm in the building.
You guys know how we do it. We tackle 2 topics in 1 hour. And we're going to take some trending topics to talk about for tonight's episode of Relations. The first topic is going to really ask the men the question of why they think Russel Wilson and men like him are simps. That'll be the first topic. And the second topic would be what and when is the obligation of
For the new boyfriend.
taking care of someone else's kids. Now, I this will obviously spill over into the whole McDonald's fiasco. But since that's just her baby daddy, we wanted to kind of start the conversation on the opposite spectrum. What and when does it become an obligation for the new person you're dating to be involved with and feed your children? And then in the tap-in, we're going to try our best not to talk about McDonald's until the tap-in where we can actually tackle that specific situation. The baby daddy and how he bought McDonald's and the McDonald's was thrown in the trash. So let's try not to mix the two. So let's start with the first topic and why men...
You know what? Let's do your second topic. I want to start with it.
You want to start with the second topic first?
Oh yeah.
You've never done that, so now I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm so nervous because you've never done that. You usually let me just pick. Okay, so we're going to start with the second thing I mentioned. So we'll repeat it again. What and when does it become an obligation of the new person you're dating, when it is their responsibility to be involved with and take care of and feed the other person's children? Do you want to start off?
Well, have at it.
Oh, okay. I got thick skin, so I don't care how people feel about this. I don't believe that in the dating stages that it is necessarily that new partner's responsibility to be involved with your children at a certain level. So let's tackle involvement. He don't need to be taking them to Disney World at this point. Disney World tickets are $90 a child.
In the beginning.
Yes, this is the beginning.
So he's dating.
He's dating the mama.
Gotcha.
I'm going to take it from the man's perspective.
Gotcha.
If he's dating you and it's the beginning stages, this is his opportunity to get to know you. God damn. How much do you want him to do at the same time? I'm just getting to know you as a potential girlfriend and looking into seeing if I can see you as my wife. Eventually. When I start looking at if you can become my wife possibly, I might be interested in what type of mother you are. And then I can watch that too. It's an assessment. You want this man to jump in head first. Everybody at Disney World, we all now he got 6 mouths to feed all of a sudden. It just went from 2 to 6 and he just met you. I think that's whack. And I think women ought to consider, because there are men out here who have set the tone, good men, rich men, who have set the tone and done that in the beginning stages. Ask why. It's only to impress you. They didn't love your kids yet. On the way to work this morning, he wasn't like, damn, I wonder if all her kids hungry. No, he's thinking about all the things you think about at the beginning of dating. When can I smash again? When am I going to get to second base? When am I going to get to third base? Damn, I wonder what she looked like in this. He's not thinking about how hungry your kids are or how well they're doing at school today. And if he asks, and if he buys them food, he's doing it to impress you. And that's not genuine. So the first time, cool, but I want you to understand that you don't got to do that. Let's build me and you first. I would like to see a woman say that. Counter that bullshit because it's not genuine. He wants now for you to be so impressed with him that he can move to third base real quick. Put on the brakes. You shouldn't want a man to be involved in your kid's life at a certain level in the beginning anyway, unless you need a handout. I digress because I'm trying not to go farther down the McDonald's road. Okay, have I said enough to get you started? Because I don't want to rant. No, I'd rather not. I'm going to say because I already know I'm going to get beat up on this. So I'm going to try to save the rants. Because rants make me look crazy.
But nobody said you was going to get beat up. Okay. First of all, okay, when we talking about the idea of obligation, you 1,000% correct. So I do have to tackle this from a lot of different standpoints. Me is a father myself, having 2 kids, a boy and a girl. Typically early on in the dating phase, most parents have the idea that you don't meet their kids. You know, they don't even know I don't even know where I'm going to work out with this girl. You see what I'm saying? So there's no reason for her to even meet my kids. So we do get to the point where she can meet my kids. It is typically further down the line. And typically that's what it is for women too. You date a woman, she need to get an itch scratched, whatever the case may be, you typically ain't gonna meet the kids. They let you know you have kids, but you typically don't meet them.
Correct.
Okay. Now, this question was brought up because the cameraman said, I don't feel an obligation. Correct me if I'm wrong. Say what you said.
I don't feel like I have an obligation to take care of kids.
He doesn't feel like he has an obligation to take care of kids. Now, the only thing that we were really talking about is he's entitled to feel how he feel. I don't never knock that standpoint of how he feel. Only thing I was saying was there's a lot of women out here who don't have kids that he can deal with. Because if he's dealing with a woman and they have kids, it look a little suspect. It's like, why are you here besides some fun? Now, you're right in what you said, because I actually like what you were saying. You were saying, like, you know, hey, in the early beginning, is he thinking about the kids? No, he thinking about knocking your back out.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? But typically I always say that. Every time I've been on this show, I say the same shit. Men don't care about what you reading. We don't care about what books you know, what PhDs you have. We don't really care about any of that shit. We trying to knock it out. But I do have just somewhat, a little sympathy for someone that's going to say, well, shit, if he don't feel like he's obligated, then why the fuck is he dealing with me?
I can answer that so easily.
Go ahead.
Even, you know, and you have to be, it's such a touchy subject because you don't want to come off just,
Crass?
I don't know, yeah, Miss Hannigan, just rude and brutal. But it's okay to want genuine interactions for yourself. I want genuine interactions. I don't want someone doing something to me that they feel, doing something for me that they feel like they have to do. And I'm sorry, but Monday this man woke up single. And he went to the store on Monday night and he met a fine ass woman at Publix that he's gonna take out on a date. God damn, this bitch got 4 kids.
Damn, can't fuck with her.
You understand what I'm saying? Like he has to make a decision based on what you're saying right there. He has to make a decision. Damn, she got 4 kids. So if I want to ask her on a date, I may end up, you know, a few weeks in now, taking care of this whole family. Whatever fears he has. I mean, I could have gone off the deep end with that one. But whatever fears that he has about women with children now is getting in the way of, this might be his soulmate. This might be an opportunity. This might be the person that you're supposed to be with. But that's too much pressure. And the reason why there's so much pressure is because there's that underlying thing that people feel like that if you're going to be with me, you got to take care of my kids. Yes, eventually when he loves them. Right now, anything that he's doing for his kids is to impress you anyway. It's not genuine. And I don't want shit from nobody that's not genuine.
Okay, got a question for you. So, using the word genuine.
Yes.
Okay. See, my only issue with the word genuine is this. A lot of men do shit that ain't genuine. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. I mean, we talking about genuine. I mean, we just talking about genuine. A lot of men don't do shit that's genuine. We don't buy cars that you know what I'm saying, we really want to have because that's not genuine. We do that to impress women. We buy jewelry that's not really genuine to impress females. Looks, clothing, everything. Shit, if we could fuck in a cardboard box.
But we control that. Because if we put out in the universe that none of that stuff is important to us.
Time out. But I'm just addressing, I'm not saying anything that you are saying is wrong. I'm just addressing the simple fact. You say, I don't want nobody doing shit for me that ain't genuine. So I'm tackling the idea of what you just said about genuine. And a lot of men, a lot of times, you said it yourself. When you meet the person that's not really who they are, that's the representative.
That's the representative. And this is a part of the representative. The guy that you just met that shows up with, he just met you and he showed up now with Easter baskets for all your kids. It's a nice gesture. And I'm not saying give the Easter baskets back. And I'm not saying don't give him a gold star. He's considerate. He's doing the right thing. It's Easter. He bought my kids baskets. But it's my job to let him know that this is not something I'm looking forward to. This is not something you have to do. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I would appreciate maybe the next time you before do it, just run it by me. I just don't want any blurred lines. We're not there yet. There are 1,000 things you could say to make it clear to him, no pressure.
Mm. So you prefer him not to do things?
I'm not saying that. I prefer to let him know that it is not an obligation for him to, in the stages of getting to know me, that he needs to do for my children. Now, if he continues doing it, then he may just be that kind of person in his heart. I just need women to stand in the paint and stand up for a second and make it clear to men that it's not an obligation, because they're turning away or missing out on some men who think it is an obligation.
But I really feel that that is a thing that's kind of like an unsaid rule. There's a lot of times I've dated women who've had children and never expected me to be like, well, I'm finna send them something for their birthday, or I'm gonna send them something for Christmas, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I just haven't. But it wasn't something that they was expecting anyway. But another thing is, you also have to know the dynamic of what's going on. I think the situations are different for each individuals. There are some cases where certain women who have kids or 4 kids or 3 kids or whatever the case may be, it might be from one dad, and that dad might still be active in their life. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm not really needed for that obligation to do those type of things. They have a dad. And a lot of times I've been in situations that's like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They have a dad that do those things. And sometimes that dad, he's the problem. He's like, I don't want nobody, you know, I got my kids. I don't need nobody to do nothing for my kids. You know what I'm saying? I got shit for my kids. You got a question?
That's basically what you was tapping on that one. They were saying that what if it was reversed and the male was all messed up and you had to buy the kids food as a female.
Well, all right. Now, see, this is when the shit gonna get a little tricky. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because
women are nurturers,
and she's definitely gonna speak on this issue. Yeah. But this happens sometimes, and this is an unfortunate thing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that happens when the woman is genuine. And sometimes that happens when the man is not genuine, and he just uses the woman to get shit from them. You know what I'm saying? Damn, man, I'm short on daycare.
That's happened to me. That's the only reason why he's using that, is because that's actually happened to me before. Damn. I had never even met the kid, but I was dating the dad, and the dad, I would ask him, hey, you know, you want to go to the movies tonight? Do you want to do X, Y, Z? And then he would say, that sounds great, but you know, I'm just so stressed out. I shouldn't be at the movies with you when I can't even pay my kids' daycare. Exactly. So that's now me cutting the check for the daycare.
Exactly. And then that's looked at a lot of different ways. That could be looked at as like, God damn, you know, he's a loser, and you fucking with a loser, and you funding him and his child. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then, like I said, or, you know, a scenario like that has not to that degree of like buying things, But sometimes when you have like kids and then the baby the baby mom and the baby daddy have split, or the husband and wife have split, and then they have significant others on both sides, that presents problems a lot of times. For me, it wasn't a situation of things being bought, but it's like, I don't do fucking hair. My girl do hair. My baby mama got a problem with my new girlfriend doing her hair. Well, fuck, don't send her to me with her hair done. Other than that, her hair getting done.
Right, period.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm standing in the paint for that. I'm not using her. I'm not trying to make you think that that's her mama or trying to take over and shit like that. And then, like I said, like I was talking about, I've been in situations where the baby daddy just don't want you to do shit. They feel like you trying to take their spot. That's why it get a little tricky, because it's like, if you start buying shit for the kids, keep in mind, kids are honest. Very honest. Honest to the degree that they poke a bear without knowing that they poking a bear. So you come over there, you buy them a PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Baby daddy get over there. Damn, you got a PlayStation. Yeah. 51 Spade and got it. Like I said, I've dealt with baby daddies that just feel like you taking over. And the kids are honest. You buy them. I went to the stream and said a PlayStation, but you can even do something like buy him a basketball. And he gonna be like, Spade bought me the basketball. Who is that? Oh, that's mama new boyfriend. He cool. You know what I'm saying? I like him. You know what I'm saying? Now he feeling a certain way. Now I ain't do anything, but just be nice. But these are other things that also come into play. Sometimes it makes because he gets that information, it makes the baby daddy be horrible to the baby mama. Now we trying to go out. Hey, come get the kids. I ain't coming to get them damn kids. You know what I'm saying? You and Rico Suave over there figure it out. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot when it comes with taking care of someone else's kids. And like I said, it's dependent on the dynamic of how it is. Now, some could be lucky enough that he locked up, or he ain't around, or he died in a car crash. I ain't trying to say that's lucky, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving the scenario that it could be someone who's single. There is no baby daddy. There is no nothing. And she might be looking
for someone to fill that spot. But even if she is out there looking, if you are actively out there looking for a husband, like I was, he wasn't doing husband shit day one. I had to build the relationship. I had to get to the point where I could sit down with this person and say, I know we're just dating, but I'm looking to get married, and I'm not looking to get married in the next 10 years. I'm looking to get married. I'm looking to whoever I fall in love with, whoever I'm sleeping with in the near future I'm trying to make that person my husband. But I didn't say that on day one. So why is it that if you're dating a woman or a man, that you get into the relationship feeling like you have an obligation to their children? Now, I do want to tackle something real quick, because I do feel, even saying woman in the same sentence, I feel different.
You should.
I feel different because I'm a woman. I'm naturally a nurturer. So if my guy has children, it's different. It's a whole different thing. I don't feel any type of obligation. In fact, I know for a fact, when I got with my guy that I have now, he had children. When I fell in love with him, key words, when I fell in love with him, I fell in love with his children, his damn offspring. So that doesn't feel like obligation to me. That feels like love. That feels like taking care of. That looks like providing a stable environment and a home for this man's children. My duties are different. As a woman, I feel like we're not equal. I'm willing to have that conversation too. It's not equal. Well, if men feel like it ain't no obligation to take care of my kids, then when I get in a relationship, it ain't my obligation to take care of his kids. It ain't like that. If you're a real woman and you are a natural woman and you are just being that in your belly, not based on what you feel like or what someone did to you or what your reactionary shit is, if you're being a real woman, you want to provide a stable environment, a nurturing environment for this man's kids. And that will lead you to cooking, feeding, buying school clothes, making sure that birthdays are remembered. Men are simple. They do shit like, oh, I'm gonna call her and wish her happy birthday. A woman's job is to say, babe, let's not do that. I'll make cupcakes.
But also a man's job is way different from your job. You could do absolutely jack shit and it's not gonna matter to that man. And what I mean by that, to elaborate, is I understand that from the standpoint of where you coming from, but your responsibilities are damn near limited to almost zilch. Is a man, when a man comes in and he inserts himself into the obligations to fulfill the husband duties, the man of the house, he also assumes the role of responsibility and discipline. And now, because the child isn't yours, every woman, majority of women, we have different tactics when we talk about discipline. And every woman isn't willing to give that same type of reign to that man when it's based on discipline. Every woman ain't down for you to beat their kids. Every woman ain't down for you to discipline their kids. Mm-hmm. Like, even when you talking about the obligations that go with it, the reason some men kind of stray from it, because it's like, you know, in the first 5 seconds, probably 10 seconds, if that kid is bad. You know what I'm saying? They start doing shit and climbing on shit, and then you looking at them and you like, God, you allowing this? And then that's just on the date. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Date?
Well, I just seen something not too long ago where a woman actually brought her kid on the first date. You know what I'm saying? And the kid was jumping around and bouncing around, and you know, and he was putting on, what as you were saying, he was putting on a lie face. I don't even really want to say it was a. I don't even want to say it was a genuine. He knew in his mind that this motherfucker is bad, and I'm probably gonna smack the shit out of his ass.
And why did she bring him? There were 1,000 things going in his mind that he couldn't say out loud. But if we're doing this show for transparency, if men could really say what they want, when she showed up to that date with her child, which she could have had a very good reason why she did that, because shit happens.
She said that she didn't
have to. It's not gonna change what the man is thinking.
That's right. He said,
why would she do this? Why wouldn't she call and just change the date? Well, why? Damn, I would have gave her the money for the babysitter. These are all things he would like to say, but he can't, because then he would be a fucking jerk. So what? I bought my kid on our first date. What's the big deal? The big deal is it's about you right now. Can I get to like you?
Mm-hmm. I'm agreeing with that. So, but like I said, there are going to be, and I could be wrong, you know, you can look in the comment section, because you are a woman without kids. Then they're going to be women with kids.
That feel different.
That going to feel different and say, well, shit, if you don't want to date me, then there's women out here that ain't got kids. Don't come disrupt my life because we come as a package. I've been there. I've been there with women just openly tell you that from opening jump. We come as a package.
And that's okay to say that. It's smart to say that.
I'm not saying that. But now what comes a little tricky is how. Because as a man, you know, we leaders, so we like to delegate shit. But now you also dealing with not only the woman, but her kids, her decisions, what she make. Because you just said to yourself, like, yo, I understand. You know, you should have, you know, you could have replaced that date. You know what I'm saying? You could have called it off. But she might have not felt like that, because she could say, this is shit that happened in my life. Sometimes I got to drag my kid. Sometimes I got to drag my kid to work. Sometimes I got to drag my kid on a date. And they want you to see that this is what you're getting into.
Their real life. When I'm going to go out on a limb and say this and probably take a lot of tomatoes. But
don't.
I'm going to do it. If this is your life, then maybe you shouldn't be dating. If this is your life, if your kids are bad, if you can't never find no babysitter, you might not be the best candidate to be out there dating right now, and that's okay. Sit the fuck down.
That's right, and that's fact too. A lot of people do not think that their kids are bad. A lot of them be like, just adjust to him. You know what I'm saying? Or he's special. You know.
No.
Everybody. There's a lot of people who don't think that they that they don't think that the kids are bad.
Let me tell you what it does. I have a friend of mine, and who, you know, I have several friends that have children. Not all of them are bad, but I got one that has a bad kid. I could not imagine, because I know what kind of men she likes. I cannot imagine her meeting a man and then her saying, let's have a nightcap at the house. And then her badass kid wake up and wreak havoc. I could not imagine. I would feel so sorry for her. I would feel so bad because he would just have ruined her shot. Because now this new man that she just now can think about is, do I want to be in this situation? You put too much on a person to make a commitment. In that moment, and shit happens. You're over for a nightcap. We thought the kid was asleep. He got up, and I'm sorry that now the date is ruined. But now not only is... I'm not saying that. I'm just giving an example of why I said maybe you're not ready. Because if you're this person, now this person, that's not going to be her problem because she already know that she not going to bring nobody to the house till the kid's out. She fortunately knows that her kid is disruptive. So she's not going to put herself in that situation. I'm saying if she did, this would be why I would say maybe not right now. Because there's not enough control here for the type of men that you like. It's going to cause a rift either between you and him because he's going to want to knock the hell out of your child because that's where we come from, if you know what I'm saying. Or he's just going to say, you know what? That's too chaotic for me. I like to chill.
And that's what the dude did. When she brought the kid on, she was like, hey, you know what I'm saying, we'll probably have a good date next time. And you know, and he was in his mind, he was like, yeah,
there's not a next time.
He's like, there's not gonna be another next time.
So that's the risk. Her soulmate, he could have been. Sometimes things happen because they're supposed to. But what I'm saying, in the interim, if he was the right one, she fucked it up by just not calling and saying, hey, I have my son. The babysitter flaked out on me. What should we do? He could have said, well, shit. Let's find a babysitter. Let's find somebody else. Or let's just reschedule tomorrow when we get one. Let's not fuck up our first date. And if she could make the decision over again, I'm sure she wouldn't bring her bad-ass son. You know your kid bad. Or at least you know he move around a lot. If you don't want to call his ass bad, at least you can say he's a busybody. Yeah. And so that you don't need a busybody on your first date. Yeah. So don't go. So what I'm saying, I'm not saying don't date. I'm saying put yourself in the best possible situation to win. So don't take your kids on the first date. Don't make your first date with a man an obligation to your children. Not even the first month. Because you're not playing your best hand. You're not playing your best hand if you do that. I mean, if you dig boogers, it's best that you go in the room on your first date and dig them. You ain't gonna show somebody that you like to dig your boogers and eat them. It's the first 30 days. Wait till they fall in love with you and show them you eat boogers.
No, if you eat boogers, do not. Don't be with nobody. Yeah. You know
but some people eat their boogers. I'm mentioning something that people covet. And I guess coveting your kids probably, you shouldn't say that. But there are things people purposely keep away from people they're getting to know. Because it's just not the time. You're getting the person get to know the shiny, new model. Yes, there are some bumps and dents around here now. It ain't perfect. But I'm going to present it. Just like, yeah, I run late all the time. But the first damn interview, I'm going to be on time. Now, in my life, I've been known to be late. That's probably not going to change. However, I'm not going to show up to the first interview late and say, well, this is just what I do. I just want to show you that I'm late often. So I decided to show up for the first day of work late just to show you my trend. No. On the first day, probably the first 30 days, I'm not going to be up 5 minutes late. I'm going to be 15 minutes early. It's 6 months down the line your boss see what your real character is. Use that same philosophy for a new relationship. It's just the best way to win. I'm not telling you to lie. I'm not telling you to hide. I'm telling you to play your best hand. And sometimes putting all that pressure on a new person is ruining your chances. And they are not wrong for saying, I don't think this is for me. It's too early. They don't love you yet to make that type of commitment to that type of chaos.
Mm-hmm. So what about if the person think that they love them and then they just wake up one day and like, you know what?
I can't.
I made a mistake. This is way too much. And because the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there are women who are like, this wrecks their house when the guy gets attached to the kids get attached to the guy. Kids get attached to the guy. They done already introduced them. And then because there, like what you just said, there are things that do come with them coveting things. Mm. So later on, you might have not been seeing how bad he is and how the mother handled things, and then now you the one going to the school because he's being bad, and you like, you know what, I really fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying, isn't it worse that it's exposed later and now you're in love and you feel even more trapped? Well, I think that's when the question of, is this relationship with this person worth it? Because at the end of the day, the people that we fall in love with, I hope, have value. And that value will sometimes speak to those type of situations where it's like, damn, this is the pro, that little nigga is the con. But she's worth it. Because as long as she loved me and she's loyal, then I'm going to be able to work in some discipline for this little motherfucker.
That happens, but like I said, circumstances. Because the reason I brought that up is because I had a homeboy where that happened to, where, you know, he finally was getting along with the mama and the kids that got, you know, they done moved in together, this and that. But in this scenario, the baby daddy was locked up. Then he got out. Then it turned into something different. I don't care how much love he had. You see what I'm saying? Now it was turning into something else. It's him showing up, him trying to prove that he's the dad. It became physical. It became different things. So, I mean, you can say that love shit all day, but really at the end of the day, when you getting me into fist fights and, you know, just things that can't be controlled, because she can only control small minimum things. She can't control him. I mean, she tried to control it as far as like a restraining order and shit like that, but then he's just trying to see his kids. So he got into a situation like, well, I don't really know if this is really worth all of this.
Is it really worth it? And that's the question that they have to ask themselves. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to come around to the women who would have children and come around to what you said. And if you're choosing a woman with kids, eventually, if this is someone you're looking at as love, someone you love and someone you're going to be with, then yeah, at that time, you have to step up. And you do have to lead. And that includes clothing, feeding, encouraging, all of those things. So at the end of the day, if you're going to be doing all that anyway, I'm sure you've already had the self-talk, is it worth it? Because this ain't no $40 date night no more. This is a whole family we're talking about. I'm talking about the movies is $200 if they eat popcorn. It's a $200 date to the movies.
Yeah, ain't no popcorn.
You understand what I'm saying? So you have had to have the self-talk. If you're dating a person who has multiple children, or even one, kids are expensive. If you're dating someone with children, I think men have already had the self-talk that this is the one, or at least I'm not willing to let someone else have her because she got a badass kid. Or I'm not willing to let someone else have her because she got 2 or 3 kids with 2 or 3 different babies. Sometimes the person you're dating has value. I don't know what kind of value with that type of shit going on, but I'm also not her. So she may have some value to that other person where they feel like they'll just deal with it. And if they can't, that's a consequence of having children and not marrying the person you had them babies with. And that's all I have to say about that. If you get up, if you wake up and you decide you no longer want to take care of me and my 4 kids, that is a consequences of the choices that I made when I decided to get pregnant from a person that I am not going to spend the rest of my life with. Meaning that I don't want to be alone, so I'm going to have to ask someone else to come in here and deal with someone else's kids. If they decide to go, then you say, this is a part of the choices that I made. These are the consequences that I have to deal with. And on to the next. Don't sulk in it, because it's not going to change anything. Sometimes we don't want to deal with other people's kids, and we are not obligated to unless we have become obligated to you.
And that's a Kano moment. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with nothing you say. I say choose carefully. You know, there's a lot of people out here that sometimes that's the situation. There are women out here that were married and now they divorced. So
it's a consequence of divorce.
Tomato,
it's not different.
You know, tomato. So there you go. So I'm wrapping up on that.
Next topic. Okay, so the second topic is going to be why are people beating up on Russell Wilson and calling this man a simp? Why are men like Russell Wilson being called simps? What is the big deal about them being chivalrous and romantic and being men of God? What's wrong with that?
You tell me.
I mean, myself, I'm not a Russell Wilson type of girl. I like my men a little bit more rough around the edges. That's a me thing. That's also a trauma thing. I can admit that. I deserve a man that'll lay down his jacket while I walk over a puddle. But if someone did it, I would probably keep on walking around the jacket and not call him back. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It's related to trauma or related to how you saw your dad treat your mama. I know there's a thing there. There's issues. However, when I meet a man like that, he's not for me, but he is for somebody. And I don't think that those choices make him a simp. I think that all of us have grown up in different environments, on different streets, in different parts of the world with different parents. And he may have, I don't know his life, he may have grown up in a 2-parent household. He may have grown up with parents that didn't cuss and went to church every day. And he liked what he saw. And so he said, that's how I want to do it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As long as he's not being something he isn't, I say go for it. Be yourself. And if this is who he is, he definitely shouldn't be being attacked for it.
Interesting. Okay. Not too long ago, I heard Claudia Jordan on her little podcast saying something, regurgitating something similar to what you were saying. Like, hey, this is who he is. You know, he respects his women. She said some shit like, you know, he's a throwback to the old men of how women are supposed to be treated and, you know, giving flowers and things like this. Then there was another podcaster who kind of uttered the same things, and now I'm hearing you utter the same things. When you have women, and to kind of paint this picture, I'm gonna just show you something. When you have women, when y'all look at other women, men don't interfere on what y'all classify that woman is. Y'all look at certain women and be like, this woman is ratchet. And y'all have all the amount of things of what y'all consider to be ratchet and why y'all put that person in that classification. It's women business. And then you'll have another woman say, hey, this is the women's club. You know what I'm saying? She has a PhD. She's successful. She's a boss bitch. You know, she have all these things that classifies her to be in that. Bitch, you know what I'm saying? That's women business. You know what I'm saying? Right?
I know where you're going with this.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, tell me. You know where I'm going? Where I'm going?
You're saying that this is men's business. And men know what a simp is. And we need to stay in our place and just understand that another man know what he's doing to be called a simp. But we want to know, what is it? What is it that he's doing that makes him a simp?
Gotcha.
Let us in.
I got you. Well, I'll let you in. Okay, so for men, a lot of times we have universal things with men. If I was out and I saw another man, I wouldn't even know the man. He looks at me, he's black, I'm black. Look at each other, get a head nod. We all know that that's like a universal thing. We don't have to know each other. We just know that there's a universal thing amongst men. Okay? And when I listen to women, I hear them keep saying, all Russell Wilson did was this. All Russell Wilson did was that. All Russell Wilson did was this. Russell Wilson also did something a man is not supposed to do.
What?
His man code. And this was so interesting, so I had to write this shit down. So, I had to write this shit down because I didn't want to miss nobody. I didn't want to miss nobody.
First time.
I didn't want to miss nobody. Well, I don't have my phone because, you know what I'm saying, everybody on my shit. So, you know what I'm saying? So I had to write this shit down. This is the thing that a lot of women ultimately get. And I you know what I really figured out about women? Women try to look at other women and then give them passes for their bullshit that they do. Because when you see women who do a lot of bullshit, or some shit I'm about to name, will go down the list of shit that motherfuckers look at, see here he is. Because for some strange reason, y'all looking at Russell Wilson, but you're not looking at Sierra. But that is what men do, because we look at women. So, In 2002, Sierra dated LaKey Thompson. That's in 2002. In 2003, she dated the singer Lloyd. This is both infamous people. That's 2003 to 2004. In 2005, she dated Bow Wow. That's 2005 to 2006. In 2007, she dated 50 Cent. That's from 2007, and they was on and off again from 2007 to 2010. In 2011, she dated Trey Songz. In 2012, she dated Amari Stoudemire. I ain't even got the Future. I haven't even got to him. And if you're missing something, I want you to notice why I keep saying the date. The dates. And in 2014, she dated Cam Newton. So there's a lot of women who got their chests beaten out talking about, well, all he did was pick the woman who been ran through.
You can't say that.
I did and I will, and that's what we think. So we said, like, this is the thing. This is the thing that a lot of women sit here and keep trying to say this shit about Russell Wilson. Just because in any other scenario, so I'm gonna give a different scenario to make it all come clean. Because even for, I believe you, but I'm not sure, so I don't want to put words in your mouth. So when we took someone like Laura Harvey, who we all openly look at as a hoe or a whore, she dated P. Diddy, both of P. Diddy's sons, Future, Trey Songz, and Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan just dumped her ass to go with the girl he really wants to be with. Because we all know universally as men, you do not wife a whore.
So that's why you're calling him a simp?
But for some, and then all this took place because typically I ask women, like, at what age do your whole period stop? You know what I'm saying? And keep in mind, these lists of names that I just named, when I got to Cam Newton, she was 27 years of age. Then she decided to get with Future and say, well, I want to have a baby.
Surefire one.
Yeah. And then, here go Russell Wilson. Now, universally, women had no problem calling Laura Harvey a hoe. But if you look at some of the names on her list and Sierra list, it's almost the same. She dated Future. She dated Future. She dated Trey Songz. She dated Trey Songz. Michael B. Jordan was the only one smart enough to be like, this is fun. I get it. Because he takes flack for that type of shit. You see what I'm saying? When he's in the news and shit like that, motherfucker like, God damn, bro, you know, she kind of been around the block. You don't really know, you know what I'm saying? We waiting to see what he gonna do. We waiting. Then he pulled the move. We like, okay, you one of us. We got you.
So because he broke up with her, he like...
Look at, you hear the bass?
Yeah, because now, wait a minute now. While Michael was dating Lori, he was doing a lot of chivalrous shit.
He's a celebrity. He can do that type of shit.
But I didn't hear all... I didn't hear
Did he
Michael
marry
Jordan was a simp.
Did he marry her?
Oh, so he would have had to marry her to be called a simp, huh?
Oh, most definitely.
Killing me.
Most definitely. And this is the thing. You want to be a woman so bad. You want to be a woman so bad and be a righteous candidate. You want to hold that flag up with that hand. But part of you like, God damn, that's a lot of bodies. You know what I'm saying? If you was reading off that list. Because all the men know this type of shit. And none of these men are the same. And it's not like she was picking losers. She dated 50 Cent at the height of his career. She dated Bow Wow at the height of his career. She dated Trey Songz at the height of his career. She dated Lloyd at the height of his career. She dated Cam Newton. That's 2 quarterbacks. So we got 2 quarterbacks, 2 singers, 2 rappers. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing that trips me out, because women do not, by no circumstance, want to admit when they see other hoes out here. If she was somebody else, you'd be like, this bitch out here hoeing. But y'all think because Sierra done bagged a simp, we supposed to give him flack because he did some shit that every man know not to do. Now, this is subjective. You know what I'm saying? It's subjective. It is. It really is subjective. But I wanted to correct on why women sitting here saying, well, because he loved his woman and this isn't based on what the fuck he doing. For her, oh my God, what he giving her, hey, some men fall in love with hoes, whores, whatever.
You can't say that.
I'll say it backwards if I can. Whore, love, fuck. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to correct the narrative of women sitting there saying that we looking at him because he respect his woman. And every time I turned around, it was some woman talking some horse shit about, well, all he did. Every man know this. When we see someone and we see him racking up a lot of bodies, we like, that's fun. You're supposed to have fun with that. You ain't supposed to marry that.
So he's getting called a simp because you guys look at Sierra as a fun girl. And he's being chivalrous to someone who you guys believe don't deserve it. Well, at the end of the day, you're saying that he's being too good to her. She doesn't deserve a Russel Wilson. Because I haven't once heard you say you have a problem with who he is.
I never said.
I'm hearing you say you have a problem with who he's doing it for.
No, I have a problem with women trying to tell us what we think a simp is. That's why I said man business. Similar to when y'all look at other females and y'all say, oh shit, I love Cardi, man. That's a boss bitch. Look how she taking niggas for money. And look how she's Megan Thee Stallion. Stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Like you trying to come up with some shit, but this shit is not gonna work. So when y'all look at other women and y'all start giving them like this big utmost respect of when they take men for shit he deserves. You know what I'm saying? She's a boss bitch, and you know what I'm saying? You can get this WAP, but you gotta pay for it. You can do this, but you gotta get a Birkin bag in order to get some of this loving. You know what I'm saying? To get some of this shit. We, as men, we classify our men on how we see them too. So this ain't got shit to do with it. You got a question?
They need a direct answer on what a simp is.
Women or men?
You already know this.
it's women. Y'all are not really understanding the idea that no man, realistically, like if you're looking at what I just said and you're saying to yourself that you see a woman and there's a man who have a bunch of kids, or he's always trash, he's always dogging them out, you would put that man in a classification of like, damn, this motherfucker got 10 baby mamas, this motherfucker got 8 baby mamas, or whatever the case. You're gonna have some type of like, hey, you need to stay away from him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But that also counts for men when we looking at females. Like if we see a female, and this is one of the reasons why I not only did I give the names, but I also gave out the years that she was with it. It just goes to show that she makes bad decisions. It's not saying
and
that
then she made a good one, and then she reaped the benefits of it because he treats her like a queen.
That's good for her, but we ain't talking about her. We talking about the simp that married her.
Somebody help me.
Women trying to make excuses for the shit that you know is wrong. Because even when you look at that body count, you like, damn, that's fucked up. Year after year, it didn't even give like no breathing room. You know what I'm saying? She didn't even give no time for that pussy to rest. It was like on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. You know what I'm saying? And they celebrities. You know what I'm saying? And even if you look at some of the men, you know what I'm saying? 50 Cent, we all know, you know what I'm saying, what it is. But each of them were different. But like I said, they was at the height of their career. But regardless of the fact, I wasn't even saying that she even picked losers because they not losers. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm sitting there saying like she picked losers.
But she picked all different people from Russel Wilson, that's for sure.
Gotcha. But was she, because typically when females come out of their whole period, they looking for someone to save them.
No.
If you want to know, since they keep saying what's the definition of simp, they looking for someone to take on all the trauma, all the shit that they did from their bad decision making to save them, you know what I'm saying, and uplift them. Did that clarify anything for you?
No, it still doesn't say what a simp is.
I just
Simp is the same thing as a Captain Sabo.
You hit it right on top of it. You said it. Perfect. Go ahead and say it one more time. You on the camera.
So a simp is a Captain Sabo. Wow. I mean, if you look at Sierra as a whole, and it's kind of hard.
How can you not?
I don't know how I can because of what you did.
I didn't do nothing. I
No.
told facts.
But listen, let me tell you what you did. You went down a list of men that she's dated from. You did. It was perfect. Okay, it was perfect. But okay. We can't say that's her character. We can say that's something she did, not who she is. Because that's not who she is, we can still understand that she is deserving of her captain. Because this is something she did. This isn't who she is. And that's funny because I think you and I have been going back and forth for weeks about the difference between what someone did and who they are.
Gotcha.
You are not what you do.
Gotcha. But we're not talking about Sierra. We're talking about Russel Wilson. See, it's good that you're trying to change the narrative to save what the initial topic is. Why is Russell Wilson considered
Because
to be
he
looked at as a
chose
simp?
to save somebody. He chose to show her.
Can't, don't go too far.
Okay. He chose to show her
You got a question?
what she deserves.
The question is, she didn't need saving.
See, this is the problem with
But
women.
what does that mean?
See, this is the problem with women. Women try to invent shit when they know they dead ass wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because he is, you know what I'm saying? That comment is absolutely correct. That's why I said, like, keep in mind, Laura Harvey and Sierra are two different people. Someone could say Laura Harvey, to a degree, would need way more saving than that, but they mingling in the same pot.
But what are they? I don't understand what they mean by she didn't need saving. If you're out there and you're actively looking for a husband by dating, looking for the wrong person, you do need to be saved, because putting your energy into these relationships that turn out to be shit is dangerous. It's scary. It's lonely. It's hurtful. You're drowning, and that's what that is.
Gotcha.
That's the ocean there.
And that's why we need to stop. We need to stop glorifying hoism. You know,
Who the hell glorified it?
y'all need to stop glorifying hoism. A lot of women glorify that shit. Y'all try to say, like, you know, who really cares about body counts? And who really cares, like, what my past was made of and this and that? Like, I can go out here and I was in my whole period. And I was just doing all these things because I was confused. And I was just having fun. And it was hot girl summer. You know what I'm saying? And I just needed a Birkin bag. And I was just out here with my homegirls. And we was just out here having fun. And then you want the man to take on all the trauma. All that you done set in motion. And then want us to be your therapist. Want us to be your caseworker, want us to be your husband, want us to manage your emotions, want us to do all this shit. And we supposed to look at another motherfucker because he decided to do that shit. And we like, good luck, buddy, simp ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Have fun with that shit. You want to do that? Have at it. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, keep in mind, the same way that y'all classify women and put them in this genre for y'all, men do the same thing. Nobody has said anything about Sierra. I dare you to go back and even hear me even utter a word
than
about
call her
her.
a hoe.
Whore is what I said. Having a whole period. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But just because, that's like almost saying someone put some shit on your plate and then say, well, you know what I'm saying, this is food. Technically, you know what I'm saying, but it's still shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to erase away what the fuck she did. You know what I'm saying? That can't be a simp. You know what I'm saying? Because really, like, the end of the day, as a man, I know for a fact that when I'm dealing with my girlfriend or my wife or whoever I'm dealing with, the trauma comes from her boyfriends who then left that trauma on her. That I have to fix, that she cries about, or whatever bad habits or things that he did to her, I'm fucking fixing that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Now, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be going through some of that shit. But imagine a list of motherfuckers that done left shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, like I said, it's just not good to be out here dating like rampantly, hopping off dick to dick, and y'all glorify that shit like it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that didn't work out. Let me jump on this dick. Oh, that didn't work out. Let me hop on this dick. Oh, that didn't work out either. Let me hop on this dick. It gotta be, it's like, you wouldn't even say that for your own son if you had it. If that motherfucker was selling dope and he got caught every day, you'd be like, don't you think it's time to quit selling dope? Like, you just not good at that type of shit. You would just be like, you're bad at it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes women are just bad at that, or you get into your whole period and you just not giving a fuck and thinking you don't have, there's no responsibility for that. It's responsibility for everything. Everything you do in life.
Well, I'm glad this topic wasn't about whole periods. It was about Russell Wilson, and I think we're done. I can't. So we have to go to the tap in about the McDonald's.
Let it rain.
So about the McDonald's. It pissed me off. Pissed me off because I come from divorced parents. And I think I missed a lot of little moments, not because my parents weren't getting along, but because they just weren't in the same house. Sometimes parents do things for their kids in passing, meaning they're on their way somewhere else, but hey, here go an oatmeal pie. Hey, how was your day at school today? Hey, let me fix your hair. Not a whole event. It's just in passing. When you are a father or a mother that lives in a separate home, you can't do with your kids, do shit for your kids in passing. You gotta schedule it. It's a whole fucking event. I gotta put it on the calendar. I gotta make sure I take off of work. I got the kids this weekend. You can't do shit in passing. Stopping by McDonald's to drop it off to your child is something you do in passing. And you should be able to do that for your child without spending fucking $50.
Shit.
It is not his fucking job to be a father in passing to her other kids. At first, I was closed off at him doing anything for those children because they're not his and he has an obligation to one child. Then I thought about it. In passing, definitely not. If there's something going on where he has the time and he's feeling in his heart that he wants to buy pizza, as Charlamagne so clearly said on The Breakfast Club, or I think that's fucked up. I'd have just bought kids pizza and they'll just love me and it'll make them like me and hate their own baby daddies. Because he's a girl who does things predicated on flexing on another grown-ass man. That is sick. That's why I said do shit that's genuine. You want to feed the kids, feed them because you're concerned that they're hungry. You definitely don't do it out of obligation because it's not your obligation. And you definitely don't do it to flex on another person. That's ridiculous. This is the stupidest shit I ever heard. A man has no obligations to another person's kids. And I wanted to so badly jump on her because while she was talking about why her kids were hungry and he didn't bring them McDonald's, she had a full lace front on. Silk. Her nails was done. Her lashes were done.
I don't know about that.
So this is the thing. She knew because she was waiting on him to pick up. Now I'm going to flex on my baby daddy. He pulling up. He had stopped. Bet he got one bag of McDonald's. That means he called her and said, I'm stopping by. I got something to eat for little man. If her kids were hungry, it would have been her responsibility in that moment to say, I don't have my food stamp card. Ugh. By the way, my kids are hungry. So can I cash app you $10 to buy them all something to eat? Can you let me hold something and I'll pay you back? There is 1,000 things she could have done besides making him feel like it was his job to feed her other kids from her other baby daddies. Ridiculous, absurd, doesn't work. And I hope a lot of women are on her ass. Not only men, but a lot of women are on her ass Because this is the type of shit that turns men away from doing things in passing. Now, from now on, when he wants to just do something nice for his kid, he got to think about what he got to deal with dropping off one thing for his child. Could he pick the kid up? Yes, but that's why I'm saying parents that are daily parents do shit in passing. It was just a thought, but you don't have just a thought about somebody's kids that you didn't make. You have just a thought about the kids that you created. There's not any love for your other kids. And then she made a big to-do that when he was fucking her, he bought the other kids McDonald's. That goes back to the first thing I said. If a motherfucker is doing something for you that he's not obligated to do, he's doing it to impress you. So in your case, he wanted to smash. He doesn't care whether your kids are hungry. He wanted to smash, and this was the way to keep the peace. Open up the burgers on the yellow paper, put the fries on, squeeze the ketchup out, and we going in the room to fuck. That's your fault. Period. Not his.
I ain't gonna go down this whole rabbit hole which you did. I think you did a good job. Only thing I'll say behind it is ignorance at its finest. When I first was presented with it, I just didn't really want to touch it because it really showed ignorance. And then a lot of things that I would really say to this whole scenario is fellas, be careful who you dropping seeds off into. Please. Because this is the result of that. Because regardless of what you say, that video was made, and she made a response video to kind of make people feel sorry for her, or try to make it seem like y'all don't understand this is what's going on. But really, the second video wasn't no better than the first video. You know what I'm saying? And it was really showing that ignorant people are just ignorant. She just feels the way that she feels, and sometimes you can't change that. Was she dead wrong for one, throwing your own son's food away? Drink in food because you like, well, if he can't eat it, if my other kids can't eat, he can't eat. That should show you the ignorance. The only person that should have been in that house not eating is her ass. That's the only person that shouldn't have been eating. Could the guy have did something different? Yes. Was that his obligation? No. Could he bought a pizza? He could have, but his only obligation was his son, and he was taking care of his son.
That's it.
And that's just the bottom line for me. All that other shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I gave, when we were talking about it, a couple of different scenarios he could have given. Hey, pick up the kid. We could have drove away. I could have took him to McDonald's. He could have came with me. You know, we have everybody that was in the comment.
He could have been on his way to work.
Gotcha. But I'm just saying, everybody gave a scenario that could have happened. You see what I'm saying? But the reality of it is just that the baby mama was just ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And she's coming from an ignorant standpoint. So to me, a lot of times you can't fix that. So it's, I felt sorry for him, but didn't feel sorry for him at the same time because
he chose her.
He chose her.
He chose her.
So that's it for me.
Y'all be careful out there. We need a number at the end of this, like a hotline you can call. When you thinking about nutting up in some shit that you shouldn't, then you could change your mind. Because however she live now and however she act now without kids, it's going to intensify 10 times worse. And I just can't imagine that she just became like that. By the way that she was talking. And I mean, I ain't got my stamps. I don't get my stamps to the 7th. So basically, if he didn't stop by, none of the kids was going to eat. Basically. You know what I'm saying? It just raised a whole bunch of questions about her. So the mistake was a fucking exposure of herself, not her baby daddy. And that's an episode of Relations. My name is Kana Lassiter. You can find me on IG and Twitter at Kana Lassiter.
And you can find your boy on both platforms. That's Twitter and IG under 51 Spade. Alpha Male God, y'all know how I do. I want to thank everybody for joining us on TikTok and joining us on Podbean. Hey, subscribe to the channel, man. All the support that we getting is definitely good. You want to support, you can leave donations to our Cash App. That's $ Alpha Male God. Every Friday, check us out. And you need to be subscribed to the channel. That way you can get the notifications. But Friday at 8 o'clock, you will catch an edited version of the show. Support. I see all y'all support. Leave comments. Leave us things that you want to talk about. Topics. You can DM us on our IG. That's a_relations_podcast, so we can get those questions, topics, and everything, and we can answer everything. You looking for these shirts, you can find them on Alpha Male God Creations, and then I might go ahead and get you one. And I'm gonna sign us out like I always do. I want to thank everybody, and like I always say, about that time.